Hey guys, sorry about that. A call came in and knocked me off and froze the phone. Uh, anyways, that shouldn't happen again. Uh, anyways, uh, anyways, I was finishing up. I was kind of telling you about things that went on here lately and today. You know, I got my mother has dementia. I've got her in a. I just got her in a kind of a full care situation now, and it's always tough when you put them in those things. They fight you like crazy on it. Um, but uh, but anyway, she's doing well. So, but it takes a little time. I hope none of you ever have to deal with a parent with dementia. It's tough. But overall, it's working out pretty well. So I was just getting to people's questions when that call came in and things froze. All right, here we go. Hey, Huckberry, thanks for coming back. Hey, Tom, I'm 18 and I've tried calling some owners for their homes, but they don't want to deal with me due to my age. How can I build trust with the seller, and should I make a deal before inspecting it? I'll tell you what you probably should do, Huckberry, is unless you feel like you know value already, maybe don't contact anybody just yet. Contact agents, contact properties that are sold. Make sure you understand what things are worth, right? And, find out if the thing's sold on terms, what was the terms, those sort of things. If you're into land, a lot more owner carry opportunities in land. Highly recommend that. But not everybody has to see you. If you're dealing with them direct, of course, then they get to see you. But, if you can write a letter sometimes, that doesn't hurt, if you're young and, you're just basically looking for, a great deal. But understanding what people will take. And if you have my book, I always say, let the seller make the offer. It's the safest thing you can do. You'll be blown away how many times they'll offer you the property for less than even you're willing to pay. You'd pay more and they'll offer it to you. Tom, you were about to answer my question on if you should be a real estate agent and follow the methods in your book at the same time. Listen, I think it's fine. I think, the main thing is you just all disclose. I think if you're going to be an agent, you can't buy properties you have listed. Just understand that. If you're going to go out, if you're going to be a realtor, that's fine. But if you go bird dogging looking to buy a property, and that's fine too, you can make an offer. You can do that. But if you put yourself in a position where you represent the seller and you buy the property, you got a conflict, because obviously they shouldn't be selling you as an agent. They shouldn't. You should be. It looks fishy. You should be trying to get the top dollar for the person that you're selling the property for. So it looks very suspect when somebody lists the property and they buy the property. I've accused agents of bullshit and cheating and violating their fiduciary duties because I've seen them basically properties go up that are listed, and I go, what's the deal? And they go, oh, it's already sold. Well, who bought it? Oh, well, an agent in the building. And then I find out that they sold it for 30-40% under market. Well, that's not supposed to happen. That's okay for you and me to go buy it and make a deal with somebody direct like that, but it's not okay if it's a real estate agent selling somebody's property in the office to another agent. It stinks, because they really have that. They're failing their client because they're not selling it for the highest, or they're not getting the most money they should. That's what an agent's for. They're supposed to get you so much money that you can justify paying them their commission. And if they're selling the property to somebody in the office under market, that is pure. That is really somewhat fraudulent. So, a lot of times, some things can even be okay, but they look like they smell, and it's that perception of wrongdoing, it's not great. But at the same time, I think it's a great idea that you immerse yourself into a business that you can learn more about. You can kind of fast track it. You become an agent. You reach out to buyers like me and find out what you're looking for. Say, hey, what are you looking for? What would interest you? Which, when people call me, I get these calls all the time, and I always say, look, I'm not a seller, I'm a buyer. A lot of times they're coming to me saying, what kind of deals you looking for? But that's really not why they're calling me. What they're calling me for is to find out if I want to list any of my property, which I don't, because I don't need anybody new in my life for that. Hey, hit that like button, please. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Let's read some more questions. Yeah, go to the county assessor. It's not a great way to determine value, no, but it's the best way to get a hold of, find out who owns the property. That's not the way to assess the value, though. Sean Black, what's your projections for real estate in Florida for the next 3 years? You know what? If the interest rates stay low, like they are, I don't think they'll change much. I think they'll kind of hold steady for what they are. I don't think they're going to go up a lot, but I think they'll mostly just kind of be flat and level. Everything kind of jumped up like this, but there's a lot of new stuff coming on the market, and hopefully they're going to get rid of this, oh God, what do we call it? Just this the Fed's not allowing people to foreclose. It hurts the business. It hurts the market. You got to let people foreclose. People aren't paying their rent that can pay rent. Stimulus money's gone out everywhere. People that shouldn't get stimulus, and there's plenty of help for those people that aren't paying their rent, could be paying their rent with that stimulus, but they're choosing to sit on their hands, not pay rent. The people that own the houses, a lot of them are stuck, and they can't get the tenant out, and they can't sell the property, and they're dying to sell the property because they see how high the values are right now, and they want to get in on that, but they can't. And it's great for guys like me that don't have tenants like that I can sell my property and do well. So let's see. So I would just tell you, I just think it's going to be mostly flat from here on out in Florida. That's my thoughts. Okay, I got options to make myself below here. That's weird. Okay, what does Josh say? Josh wrote, will they ever end the foreclosure moratorium? Well, I think they're getting ended in some individual states, but yeah, it's ridiculous. I was really pissed because I had a tenant that lost his job during COVID, and so I guess he was starting to hurt for money, and I gave him a little break, and then I sold him. I didn't sell him, but I sold his house to somebody I know, and I gave him a hell of a deal. Well, when he did move out, I went over to get my pool cleaner, because this is a house I had that had a pool, and my $1,300 pool vacuum was gone. And we said, hey, what happened to it? And he said, oh, I don't know, I thought you guys took it. Well, I think it's at the pawn shop, to be quite honest. But that pissed me off. I'm never going to leave a nice pool cleaning machine at an office again. I'm sorry, at a rental again. Sean, should you wait to buy? No, there's no reason to wait to buy. Listen, you just never buy unless you're buying under market. You got to buy under market. That's the number one thing. You got to buy under market. If things were worth 300, 6 months ago, you wouldn't want to pay more than 225, 250. And now, if they're worth 400 now, then you don't want to pay more than probably 300. To be honest, I mean, I just bought a house for 303 about a month ago, and it's worth over 400. So there's 100 grand there for me. Even if the market, and I think the market is kind of starting to level off, but even if it drops a little bit, I got 100 grand to play with. So I'm safe. I'm in a good position, and I would like you to be in the same. So that's what I would say about that. Let's see. What else? Delta, do you do an assignment for the piece of land that I told you about in the last video? Yeah, Delta, I'm not sure you're understanding exactly. Do I want to do an assignment? Delta, I don't know what the property's worth. You told me 80 grand for a 15-acre property. That I don't know. It could be a steal. This one I just missed 15 acres for $350,000. It was worth $750,000. I'm very upset about missing that one. So I don't know. I don't know what it's worth, Delta. And so, of course, it's not worth me trying to get into something in your area when I don't need to. I can find something locally. So you just have to keep doing your work. And, when you find a property that's 15 acres for 80 grand, you should be able to go, yeah, it's worth 80, or it's worth 200, or yeah, I got to buy it. It's a fantastic deal. And that's when, if you're really, really sure, that's when you go, find a partner to go in with, or find somebody that'll, buy you out of it. If you get it all penciled, meaning a contract, and you get terms and everything else, that's going to be a lot easier to assign that to somebody else, because then they know they just have to put X amount down and that the balance is going to be carried. So, but you're doing the right thing. You're staying interested and you're still looking. What do we got here? Mac. I asked for, I don't know. Great. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. Sean Black wrote, okay, house was appraised $30,000 less than it was listed, and bank owns the house. They won't budge. 30,000 less. Oh, the house was appraised 30,000 under. Then listed, huh? Well, I mean, I don't think the house is going to move either. Doesn't sound like it. You know, but that's the thing, Sean. Do you have the book, Sean? Do you have my book? I mean, the main thing is you got to know value. You know, I mean, the banks can be off. Everybody can be off. But you should know better than anybody what the values are. That's what I preach, you know, is you got to know value. That's the most important thing. Hey, please hit that thumbs up, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new here. You know, let's see. What can I tell you guys? Just playing catch up. I'm looking for more property though. And I'm not opposed to doing a joint venture with anybody out there. But you got to have, you will have to have done your homework. You know, you got to know it's a great deal. You know, I mean, you got to be like, you know, like almost peeing your pants, you know, ecstatic and scared that, you know, you got such a great deal. That's the kind of confidence I want to see. That, you know, like you're going to just be crying if your deal doesn't go through. That's kind of how you know you've done your homework and you know what you're doing, is when you're just like, you know, like the only thing you're afraid of is that it's not going to close, because you know you're going to make a ton of money. That's where you want to be. You want to have that kind of conviction of what the value is, based on the fact that you know the area. That's the most important thing. You know, I can think of so many times when, you know, reaching out and making a deal and going, oh my God, this property's worth $30,000 and I'm getting it for $8,000. That makes you, especially when you're, you know, like early 20s, and you know, you go, wow, this is a chunk, and then you're repeating those kinds of deals over and over again. That's where you want to be, but you got to get the first one going. Yeah, Dave, I am always looking for commercial property. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm always looking for commercial property, but those are fewer and far between. You know, they're bigger deals, but I'm always looking at houses during that time. And you know, if a couple of houses come up, no big deal. And especially if I buy them under market, you know, let's say I have a couple $1 million burning a hole in my pocket, I buy a few houses. Now I only got $500,000-600,000. Now I don't have enough to put down on a good-sized commercial property. Then an opportunity comes up. Well, that's when I still tie it up and buy the place. I tie it up, but then I start cutting deals on the houses that I just bought. You know, instead of trying to make 100. Maybe I'll cut it loose and make 50. And, you know, those are the things that I'll do in order to facilitate the purchase of another property that I want even more. But the main thing is I always keep my money working for me. So when I don't have a big commercial property to buy, or an industrial property like I have right now, I'm closing hopefully next week, then I, you know, like this house I bought a month ago, you know, I didn't expect it, but I saw moving trucks and I said, hey, there's an opportunity. Found out who talked to the people moving out. They gave me the landlord's number. Within about 20 texts going back and forth, we made a deal. We wrote the contract. I faxed it over or scanned it over. Came back, signed. We're in escrow, and now that thing's going to close soon, and I'll make $100,000 on that. But if I've got another commercial deal to buy right now, I'll sell that in a flash under market to get the cash to buy something new. So that's the advantage, and it's kind of with the reverse 1031 that you guys know I'm doing right now. That's the other thing. Once I get this phase 2 environmental cleared, I'm much more inclined that when somebody like I'm getting $500,000 for this property, you know, it's signed right now. They're buying it from me for $500,000. Well, if they're offering me $480,000, like I said no last week to that. I said I'm going to counter at 5, so they sent me an offer for 5. But if last week, if this phase 2 had already cleared and I knew I was a go to buy it, I would have let them have it for 480, because that money, I know where that money's going. It's going to go into this other property, and the taxes are going to be deferred, and I don't care about that 20 grand. I care about, you know, the penalties of $120,000 taxes. If I can defer that, that's worth 20 grand to me. So, and so that's where I'm at right now. And you know, I got another property I'm asking $699. The agent wrote me a little while ago, said, "Hey Tom, do you think it's time to, you know, lower the price?" And I wrote him and I said, "Yeah, we're not going to lower the price until I hear back on the phase 2. If the phase 2 isn't happening, then, or if my deal's not going through, then no, we're not going to cut the price. We'll probably raise the price. But if I know it's going to close, then it's like, okay, we'll cut it. So we'll reduce the price next week if I don't have any action on it." My neighbor over there that I also know, he put his house on the market. He said just been dead. He's had 2. He's been told verbally that he had offers coming. None of those offers came in, and so he's a little discouraged. He told me he took the property off the market today, which suits me just fine, because now I have the only house on the street for sale, and that works for me. So yeah, David, I think I do. I feel like it is slowing down a little bit. But for one reason I think it's slowing down is I just think that when summer came and, you know, the mask crap has been, you know, they're not shoving it down everybody's throat like they were more, you know, in, you know, a week or 2 or 3 ago. And so people are opening up, businesses are opening up, people are going on vacation. I'm trying to book a trip to Mexico myself before the end of the month. I'm going to get away for a few days. And you know, everybody is, you know, things are opening up, and people are ready to go visit grandma and grandpa because they're not going to live much longer, and maybe they didn't get to see them for the past year. So there's a lot of people just fleeing on vacation and catching up with family, and you know, that's more important than making money at times. And so that's what they're doing, I think. And so I don't know that it's slowing down, is my point. I know it will, but I don't think it is exactly right now slowing down, other than there's not quite as much traffic with that, you know, with the you know, just with the restrictions being pulled back. That's my thoughts anyways. I'm always looking for commercial property though. Oh yeah, hey, MIP management, that's a good question. You know, that's one I talked to Ben Mala about in the private mentorship last week, and you know, about offices. And so here, let me tell you what Ben told me. He's got a building in downtown Tampa that is an office, I'm sorry, it's a hotel, and his business is just down the tubes. And the reason is that all those office buildings that surround his hotel are only 50% occupied right now. And so with that terrible occupancy of the offices around him, those offices don't have clients coming in. You know, a lot of times, you know, people come from all over the world to come visit offices, you know, in different states, you know, for business. Well, they're not coming, so they don't need a hotel. So his hotel's suffering because the office is suffering. And no, quite frankly, I'm not looking at any office right now. You know, I had one building that was like an award-winning design building. It was really beautiful, but I was, no way was I going to buy it because don't know who the heck's going to rent it from me right now. You know, the office got hit really hard, and you know, even my daughter works out of the home right now, and you know, some people are starting to return back to work, but not enough to make me feel good about office. You know, I'm just way too concerned. You know, that it would be very difficult to fill, and or that it may be empty soon, even if it's 100% occupied. If people start, you know, walking away, I'd be a little bit nervous about that. Oh yeah, dude, I'm in jiu-jitsu as often as I can be. Had a great lesson today, by the way. Yeah, I was in jiu-jitsu today, and I go every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Rarely do I miss. And then I do some private lessons on top of that when I can. So, yeah, jiu-jitsu is awesome. I'm sore almost every day of the week because of it, which is a good thing. What else we got here? All right. Cool. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll probably kill it right now. Okay, here's my attorney. We got a couple here, it looks like. My attorney's charged me $500 per hour to draw up a commercial lease. Gave $1,000. No, that's a horrible deal. AF, that's terrible. You don't need an attorney. What do you need an attorney for? Just go get a boilerplate lease and read it. Make sure it covers everything. You don't need. That's nuts. Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it. Just go look at existing leases. You'll be fine. You don't need an agent. You don't need an attorney for that. I mean, unless you just feel absolutely no confidence that you understand what you're reading. I mean, otherwise, I would never have done that. I see people use attorneys all the time, and I'm like, are you kidding me? What the hell for? Oh, hey, Delta. I'll take care. I'll get rid of that. That wrench means you need some work. No, I'm kidding. That wrench, I made you a moderator a little while ago when things went blank. I thought I'd let you moderate until I got back on. David Porter, tips on targeting. Well, man, you're in the private class, David. We don't want to share that to everybody. But was looking at high crime and vacant city lots. Seemed a bit dangerous. No, don't be afraid of those. Well, high crime. High crime is never good. Yeah, stay away from high crime. But the vacant city lots can be very, very, very profitable. So, Dave, you're still getting your lessons. In a month you're going to have a different perspective on this stuff, and you'll also, of course, as you know, by being in the class, you see what other people are doing and how they're making money and some of the stuff that they're running into. So that's a great advantage, and you're going to see more of it this Saturday and next Saturday, and so that's all good stuff. So, hey guys, I guess I'm going to call it quits. I'll try to get something going live tomorrow, probably with Darius, and anyways, but hey, please like, subscribe, make those comments if you would, helps the channel, and I'll be back on soon and try to answer any questions you have. Again, always appreciate everybody coming out, and thanks. We'll see you all later. Bye.